Welcome back, everyone. My name's Crane Bramp, your old Brainiacs, and this is episode 1 of Herbs, our new modded 1.3 playthrough where we're a group of Budtenders that have crashed on the rim and are determined to spread the good word and the good smoke. So settle in, grab a beer, and some Smokeleaf if you got it, and let's get our dispensary rolling. This section is a quick overview of what primary mods we're using. This video should have chapters, so you can just skip to the next chapter if you just want some gameplay. Now, this won't cover my list in detail as we're talking 300 plus mods. There's a RimPie export list in the description, and I encourage you to view that whole list if you want to. Now, any good series begins with its maps, and I always like to showcase something different. This time, we're doing the Regrowth series and its associated biomes, including their aspen forests, boreal and desert expansions, and their animal packs. For map structures, we're rocking the ever-wonderful miscellaneous map extensions, including urban tiles, large faction bases, and rim cities. Our primary mods for the series start off with the linchpin, Smokeleaf Industry Reborn, which includes food, clothing, medicine, and even a renewable building material that's made out of hemp. So for this, I've pulled out high-tech mods like Glittertech and Sparkling Worlds, allowing Industry Reborn to handle this, and we'll just try to explore the whole system. We also have the Rimsonal series in, Rhymefeller so we can drill for oil, EPOE, along with the Dog Said, the ever-present VGP series, and several of the vanilla furniture expanded mods such as Production, Medical, and more for linkables. For storage, we're using LVM combined with JDS Simple Storage. The latter has some great items like refrigerated trailers, dumpsters, and more for bulk storage. And then we've got Rim Fridge in. Now, our enemies are not just varied, but dangerous as hell. We've got VFE insectoids, evolved insectoids, giving the insectoid special abilities, advanced mechanoid warfare, which is crazy, mechanoids extraordinaire, and then one of our favorites from our streams, dire raids. And finally, as info junkies, you know me, I'm running a ton of UI and texture mods, including Rim HUD, Heat Overlay, Camera Plus, and just too much more to list. Again, I encourage you to check out that mod list. And you know what? Enough of that. Let's get started. For our scenario, we're going to be using a custom scenario that I've created. It's nothing more than double the amount of resources and double the amount of colonists, so it's just scaled. And it's just a quicker start for the YouTube series is all so that we don't get mired down early game with just 3 colonists. For our storyteller, we are going to be using Cassandra Classic. We're going to start at Strive to Survive. The goal is to come down to Custom and work towards a 500% threat level if we don't get smashed before then. And, of course, die in a blaze of glory. Reload anytime mode because 300 plus mods. I also want to make a quick note here. Normally, those of you that know me, I start with a double population mod for the storytellers. Since I have moved to the dynamic population mod, which allows you to set the population game-wide, and then you can use any storyteller that you want. Our current mid goal is 25 colonists with a max of 40. We're going to see how ideology does. With performance, pawn performance is supposed to be better in 1.3. We'll just have to see where it goes. I'd like to get up somewhere around, I don't know, 40, 50 colonists. We'll just have to play it by ear. So, Realistic Planets has not updated for 1.3, which is my favorite planet generation mod. So, we're going to be using vanilla. We're going to go with 50%. I don't really care about the seed. We're going to go 1 point towards crowded. If you go all the way to the end, it just gets absolutely ridiculous. But I do kind of like a little bit of stuff on the map to fight. And let's see what kind of map we get. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our map. So as I noted, we do have Regrowth Core in. I would like to use one of the new biomes. I was thinking Aspen Forest sounds actually kind of cool. That'll be cold. We'll see what we can find. I will be right back with you guys as I search for one. And through the magic of editing, that did not take long at all. We have found a nice little spot right by a road. It's mountainous, 3.8, slate and granite. I like only having 2 types of stone, makes it just easier to do stone cutting and stuff. 20 out of 60 on the growing period, and no caves, which is always a good thing, which means less insectoids. We do have an insectoid city a little bit north of us. We have a citadel right here and some hostile stuff around us. Doesn't look too bad. So let's go on and get into our custom ideology. Then we will meet our Crashlanders, and it will be time to go. Our custom ideology is entitled Herbal Life. It is ideological. We are Budtenders, of course. Here is our narrative. Getting high once wasn't enough, man. We had to do it 1,000 times. Then all the puzzle pieces fit together in my blown open brain like a house falling down, but like backwards. I saw that my death and yours will mean nothing as long as our people go on. I even programmed a simulation to confirm it. Sounds like a good time. So we are collectivists. We are transhumanists, and we have high life. Our precepts include essential drug use, body modification, age reversal, biosculpting, neural supercharge, and sleep accelerators. Slavery I've marked as horrible because I just can't see a bunch of stoners enslaving people. And the rest of it's pretty standard. You can feel free to pause it and look through. We've got, of course, our roles, our rituals. We've got buildings. We've got relics, which include an XR minigun and a plasma saw. We are venerating Animus Voxes. And that is about it. We have an overall impact 5 of strong. So it is time to meet our unlucky Budtenders. For pawn creation and management, we're using Prepare Carefully, primarily for the save and load pawn presets, as I use those extensively when I'm testing mod packs. My pawns are still rolled randomly. I'm not looking for that perfect pawn, just a pawn that's not got stage 4 cancer or is a cross-eyed psychopathic kleptomaniac with cerebral palsy and a missing uterus. In addition, for this playthrough, because we're specifically role-playing Budtenders, I've also added either the Smokeleaf Farmer trait or the Stoner trait to each of the pawns from that mod. I also find it quite interesting that our entire crew, randomly, are all females. Perhaps we'll keep with that. We'll see. So let's meet the crew. Feel free to pause as I go through them. We've got Alexander, the sheriff, Bethany, the janitor, Sherrod, the butcher, Mira, the quack, Blakely, another janitor, so we'll be nice and clean, and Becker, the reservist. And now, as I hear the spaceship beginning to break apart around us, I believe it's time for us to get to the escape pods. Sounds like we're about to be crash landed on the rim.
The escape pods. All hands brace for impact. All hands brace for impact.
It's good to be back on the rim. Let's go on and pause this, do an allow all. Let's take a look at our map before we get going. An interesting looking map. I believe that right there might be our ancient danger, boys and girls. Pretty sure. Got a little bit of turquoise right there. A little bit of steel on the map. Plenty of debris. This is an interesting area down here. There is a steam geyser. So we could block this off right here and maybe enclose this in, and this steam geyser might help us be able to warm this area, and then we can put in some skylights and do basically an indoor greenhouse, because we've only got 20 of 60 growing days, so we're going to have to get inside as soon as possible. We have 6 people. We're going to start running out of food pretty quickly. So, yeah, let's go on and get started. Let me go through here and find out who's melee, who's ranged, go and get our weapons assigned, and then we'll start doing our work and get a stockpile in and let these guys start going. All right, our weapon assignments are done. Let them grab those and then repause the game. If we're going to come up in here, then let's go on and do our stockpile zone like back here. Just do that. We're going to add this. We're going to set it to low first. This is going to be our very first stockpile zone. We're going to add chunks to that. We're going to need our growing zone set up. I like to try to get all this done before I unpause so that they have stuff that they can be doing. If we're going to put an embrasure there, then we're going to block it off about there. Let's start our zones here. We'll do a 10 by 10 of, let's say, rice. We'll do a 10 by 10 of corn. The rice is for quick, the corn is for yield. Then we'll do like a 10 by 5 of probably heel root, and then a 10 by 5 of course, smoke leaf. So that's going to be All right, those zones are done. We might do some cotton later for some cloth. Let's go on and mark these chunks just to be hauled into our zone so that we get them out of the way. Same thing over here. I'm just going to set them for regular hauling, not urgent or anything. And hauling's going to be set to a semi-low priority. So let's just get these as they get done. It's back anyway. Speaking of work priorities, let's go on and get those done really quick, and then we can get everybody unpaused, set some mining and stuff like that. There are work priorities. The initial work priorities that I set up are usually really simple. Yeah, everybody's a 2 if you're passionate in it. And then I switch a few things up, like the people that are passionate in fabrication, I have them doing fabrication at a 2, and then the unskilled stuff like refining, smelting, and stone cutting as a 3, and then I swap that over. The guys who don't have anything in fabrication, machining, smithing, and tailoring are doing refining, smelting, and stone cutting. Also, these guys who aren't doing anything can also be assigned to tailoring, because we're going to be doing salvaging materials, and that doesn't require anything, and it will boost their skill. And this guy down here, although he's double passionate, only has a 4. So I've made sure and assigned him to tailoring as a 1, and so on and so forth, to drive his up. And then delivering and hauling are at a 2. And yeah, this will get changed quite a bit during playthrough, but this is just the initial setup. And then I make sure that we've got doctors. And one other thing that I do also is I make sure that everybody's on grow as a 1. Although there's a failure for harvest, there is not a failure for growing, other than it just taking longer. So let's go on and unpause this. Everybody should start hauling stuff. And while they're doing that and planning our stuff, we will go on and start doing our orders. So we're going to need plenty of wood. So let's go on and make sure that we've got all of this marked to be cut. They'll just handle that as it goes. Get our vein miner tool out and start looking, seeing what we've got for steel close to the base. We've got that. That's a nice little node. Got some components over here. Let me finish this real quick. All right, quite a bit of steel on the map. We've also got a bunch of debris that we need to set up to be deconstructed. I'm going to take this a little bit at a time, but I have a mod in where you can deconstruct any ancient debris on the map instead of having to go around and shoot it, which I think is pretty stupid, and get a little bit of resources out of that. It's not too unbalancing. Let me go through here and mark everything, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm sure that I've missed some things. I would also like to go over here and remove this floor right here. Looks like concrete. That'll give us a little bit of starting steel. You know, not much, but a little bit. And we are chopping our wood, so let's go on and start getting our structures together. We're going to do an embrasure letterbox right across here. Kill that. Put in a wooden door. We're also going to want... So if we assume that this line right here is going to be our greenhouse area, I guess you could call it, we'll go on and stick a wall right here. Kill that. Stick a wooden door in. That'll help seal this off, and then we'll throw another wooden wall down. Let's say... right here, so that we can still get that floor. Kill that. Stick a wooden door in. We're also going to need some recreation before everybody starts complaining about it. So let's get our horseshoe pin out and just stick it right there. I would like all of this to be... I want to make sure... Did I deconstruct that car? No, I did not. We're going to need our beds. We're going to assume that this is going to be all roofed back here. So 1, 2, 3... mess that up. 5, 6. There we go. And let's get us some columns out. All right, so they'll start roofing this. We'll figure out where our problem areas are. We need to get power going. Looks like we got plenty of wood, so we're going to use wood-fired generators for right now. I'll put it back here. 1, 2. Let's start off with 3. We'll run a power conduit right up here. We're probably going to run some other rooms and stuff up here to break this up, but not for the moment. And let's go on and get a couple of research benches out. I'm just going to throw them down over here for the moment. Speaking of research, let's go on and get that done. We're going to need probably some batteries to start out. And then we're going to need to drill for oil. Even after we research that, it takes quite a while to drill out the actual well. So I like to try to get started early. And then, as usual, we're going to make a straight run to gun turrets simply because it gives us smithing, machining, gunsmithing, blowback. It gives you all that on the way to gun turrets. And for me, those are like absolutely required things. I'm going to go on and break this little interior section up so that we can not have to have as many. Actually, let's do that right here. And then we'll just bring that right down there. Cancel. Cancel. Stick some doors in. Doesn't have to be anything super special for the moment. That's our stockpile zone. I'll put another door in there to make it easy access. And, yeah, let's kick back for a minute and let them do their thing. Get everything kind of hauled in a little bit. Let them start building some roofs and stuff so that we can see where we need to put down columns to kind of finish this out. And I will see you guys here in a little while. Construction is proceeding fairly nicely here. We are fixing to get to the point that we're going to need to run some power. I think we can do better. Let's see what we can come up with here. The Atba Pan Global Concord in Girvan. Sounds good to me. Let's go on and take that. As I was saying before I got so rudely interrupted, we are going to have to get set up to put a little bit of walls out here so that we can do basically conduits. We'll worry about squaring off all of our stuff later. So let's put this here, that up this way. This will go out here. All right, now that those are out, let's go on and get some lights. All right, that should get us some basic lights. I did do a accidental click over there. So we have our growing zones up. We have our initial embrasures up. We have almost all of our stuff roofed. This one is actually unroofed with a 10. This one is indoors. This one is unroofed with a 25. Let's take a look and see if we can figure out. All right. So that makes it pretty easy. I'm just going to slap down some columns to get this taken care of really quick, just so that we can do this. I'll worry about like symmetry and niceties and all that stuff later. All right, so we've got somebody researching. We did have our first break with Becker on an ugly environment. We've got a few notices. Our ancient danger is, of course, where we probably figured it was going to be, right there in the middle, which brings up some interesting tactical possibilities. Anyway, let's go on and let this run for a minute. Let them get this roofed, get some lighting in, finish running this power, and yeah, I'll be right back with you guys. And we have our first raid. However, it is a logging raid. A group of tribespeople have arrived, and they plan to log wood. I'm not really interested in messing with one dude about some wood. Dude, you can have a tree if you want it that bad. And we'll just keep going, and I will see you guys when we get this thing done. And there is our lighting. If you notice, I had forgotten that I had not run a wall down here, so I couldn't run any conduits. And also cover this up for now. All right, so we are going to need a little bit of production to start off. Let's get us an electric stonecutters table so that we can start doing our thing with that. I usually do 2 of those. We're also going to need to consider where we're going to put our kitchen and our freezer. I guess we could do it right here. I can just like seal this off right here. We'll leave a door open there. Half of this, it doesn't have to be half. Why don't we do the freezer here? The rest of this can be the kitchen. So we're also going to do a couple of these like this and do some airlock doors so that it'll be a little bit better on heat staying in. And then, of course, for temperature, we are going to need... let's go on and just run a single cooler. We can vent it out into here. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. It's cold. We're going to have to keep stuff hot anyway. One should do that. The only problem is wood's not very insulating, so we definitely need to get our bills going for our chunks and our stone blocks. Let's go on and get that done. All right, so I've set up 2 bills, one for make bulk granite blocks and one for make marble blocks bulk. Do both of them until we have 2,500. The new 1.3 plugin for bulk stone crafting does not have a minimum skill level, so you can just set it and it takes more time, so I'll just let everybody do it. Unfortunately, we do not have bulk pasting and linking of our bills yet, so I've got to do that manually, but we will make a copy, basically a twin of that, so that 2 people can work on it. And then once we get enough blocks, we'll start replacing all of this stuff and just see how that goes. So let's set this down to 0. I don't think it's going to keep it 0 just because we're using wood. We're going to need at least a couple of electric stoves. And we will go on and put... You know what? We'll make them fairly close to the freezer. We'll put it here and here. And then we should also have an electric butcher. And I think we're only going to need 1 of those to start out, so I'm going to put it right here. Now, I'd like to start getting some floors in. For the kitchen, we can just do paved tile. That'll be really simple. It's neutral in looks. And then for this freezer over here, we can do that in concrete. Also, we need to make a stockpile zone while I'm thinking of it inside the freezer, so that can go there. And I'll extend it just a little bit more. We will go on and make our storage on that. Clear all. We'll do all food. That includes all of our kibble and stuff, and then we will do medicine and drugs in there also. We will set this at a priority normal so that it overrides this. Later on, I'll take the stuff out of here manually. I just don't want to do it right now. These right here can be moved once the floor gets in. And what are we? 57 degrees. So let me pull back. Let me let a little bit of this get done. Then we'll come back and do our bills for our food. And then we need to start thinking about skylights and getting this place over here completely fixed up. We also got our batteries done. And you know what? While we're at it, I'll just go on and do those before we go. I'll stick, let's say 3 of them. 1, 2, 3 right here. Also, let's go on and build a roof area just right here so that these are actually out of the elements and we shouldn't like get any short circuits or anything. So yeah, I'll let this run and then we'll be back. All right, all of that is done. Let's go on and set up some bills for our cooking. We're going to want basically simple meal times 4. Let's do until we have 250. Clear all vegetarian, no fruits. So that starts us out, and it gives us our simple meals where we're not wasting any meat that we use. We may have to change that depending on how our hunting goes and how our crops mature. We're already down to 1 day of food, so obviously we're going to have to start hunting, which is one thing that I am going to immediately check out. See what we got. Let's hunt these bucks. All the does, all the hares, all the ibex rams, the mares, raccoon. Boy, we've got a lot. I really like the aspen, the aspen forest. That is a lot of nice, easy herbivore hunting. So let's let that go on and go. Actually, we do need to work on a couple of other things. Let's make sure that we've got set everybody to self-tend. Make sure everybody's set to attack. We don't have any great medical, but, you know, it is what it is. We will learn as we go, and hopefully we will get some new colonists, and that'll shake out. So our electric butcher table, we will just hit butcher creatures, do forever. And I believe that is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. So let's make sure that everybody is unrestricted so that they can go out and do hunting. And let's let it go, and I will see you here in just a moment. All right, let's slow this down a little bit. We have a number of things. We have a bulk goods trader out here, which I'm not really positive that I've got anything that I want to deal with him, but let's see who's got the best social really quick. So it is definitely Mirror with that 10.12 and double passionate about it. So let's have her go trade with him. Also, I noticed that we're not getting enough power down here, and it's only saying that we've got like 15 watts of excess energy. I think the problem is that I didn't move this over here so it can connect with the rest of this. So I'm going to do that, and I'm also going to throw up another one just in case. All right, let's see what they have. So looking through the trader's list, he actually has almost, well, pretty much nothing that I want. I was hoping that he would have like some cheap fungus or some corn or something cheap, but they don't have anything. So let's go on and dismiss the trader so that we can get our FPS back, and then hopefully this will get moved. And also we're going to need to change these bills up a little bit. I'd like to get rid of these, and I forgot that I have a bulk crafting in, so it's does a little bit bigger than normal. So let's do simple meal times 10. We'll do 250, and we'll just allow it all this time. Then I'll just copy this bill, make a twin of it over here. And I think we should be good to go. We are hunting. We are butchering. These should get moved over here in just a moment. As I remembered, the battery is done, the bulk good trader, but there was one more thing. I do have the initial honor quest. I would like to give that to Muir since she has the highest social, so we're going to go on and accept that with Muir. Prokalnos joins, so we will make sure that we set everybody to home, bring them on in. And then our man-eater, I shouldn't have dismissed the trader. I should have let the traders take care of the man-eating rabbit, because you know I'm scared to death of this rabbit. It's got big sharp teeth. But shouldn't be too big of a deal. He's fairly close. And then the rabbit's just basically going to run around the outside. So let's go on and get Alexander, Sherrod, Blake, and Becker up here. I realize that's a lot, but we got some people with some pretty cruddy shooting. So I wanted to make sure that we actually did that. All right, our quest is done. Where is our shuttle? Let's go on and speed this up till it gets here, and then I'll send him on. We'll do our Yemen ceremony, and I think we ought to be pretty close to finishing this episode out. Go on and auto load. Come on, get on in there. There you go. He's out of there, and we are collecting our first rice. So he joins. They left us a gift. The shuttle arrived. Well, we had a squirrel that's self-tamed. We will go on and slaughter that for meat. Our freeholder title has been gained. We need to do our ceremony, and the quest was completed. Let's go on and do the ceremony and get that out of the way. Let them get over here and stand up and post up and wait. Begin the bestowing ceremony. Come on, Muir. Let's get this done. So this is the new ceremony. So everybody's going to take place. We've got 5 out of 17. We have, room impressiveness because we just now started out. But we have an 8.3 chance of terrible, 25% chance of unimpressive, 50% chance of honorable, or 17% chance for grandiose. I'm asking for grandiose. Let's see how this goes. Wow, that was a really long ceremony, but we not only got our yeoman title, we got a grandiose. Yeah, baby. You're going to receive 1 honor as a sign of respect from the Refugee Empire for gathering 7 spectators. And there we go. All right. So let's run this just a little bit more, make sure that our bills are working, make sure that we don't get another raid, and then we'll close this episode out and we'll be set up for the next one. Looking good, looking good. We have food production going. We have people researching. We have blocks going, which we have 635 granite blocks, which means that we should be able to go on and start replacing some of these walls. Let's get these right here. All right, there we go. So we've got food production coming off. It's slow because of the temperature difference. We've got all of our walls run. Everything is roofed and now indoors. We're running and replacing all of our wooden walls with granite walls. We have our table down. We have 2 different kinds of recreation. And we're bringing in chunks. Got this cleared up so that nobody can hide behind chunks and have cover when they run down here. We've discovered our ancient danger. We've got quite a bit of stuff going, and it's been a successful first episode. So I do run between episodes. I do not skip events or anything. This is why I kind of load up with stuff to do before the next episode. I'll probably go through and clean up some of these columns and other things. And yeah, it's looking really good. Thank you guys for showing up. Achievement unlocked. Wish this was IKEA. Construct and disassemble a total of 100 structures. Anyway, before I was interrupted again, thank you guys for showing up. You already know how this goes. If you like what you see, if you like what you saw, if you want to see more types of this content, then just hit that big red subscribe button. If I can talk today, I'd appreciate a like. I will see you guys in episode 2. Peace out.